All right, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about Boolean return types. So let's get rid of this. So Boolean return type. All right, so we go ahead and say func. Let's go ahead and create a validation method function here. Let's say check password length, right? So as you can infer from our naming here, check password length, this function will check to see if the password users entered, for instance, in a form, right? If the password is long enough, and then we'll display a message to the user. Okay, so you can see this method here could actually be used in a real application. Of course, we'll probably have to have a little bit modified, right? But you get the idea. So what do we need to do here? We need to pass in a string. Okay, so we can say password string, right? It's a type string, and we can stop there. Now we want to be able to return true or false. True or false in computing is Boolean, so we say bool. There we go, we say bool there, say enter. Okay, so this method here will return true or false. Of course, let's go and return false for now. Perfect. So what we can do here, we can check to see the password string. So we can say password string dot characters dot count. So we are looking the size, how many characters this string here, this password string has. If password string dot characters dot count is less than, say, 3, then we want to return false, right? And else we want to return true. All right, that's it. Now to check it out, let's go ahead and call this function there. So check password, let's pass in then, let's say password 123. Let's see if that's what's gonna return. It returns true, which means then the password count, the character here, is more than 3. So we are good to go. Okay. So if we go ahead, let's say and say PA only, let's see what's gonna happen. It says false because indeed 2 is less than 3. Therefore, it's gonna say false. Now, if we said, let's say if we wanted actually to display, once we have used this function here, we want to display a message to the users, because now all what we're doing here, we are returning Boolean. We are returning true or false. So now what we can do, we can even go here, for instance, outside our method, our function here, declaration, we can go ahead and say if, right? We can check, say if check password length, right? And pass in, let's say, a string that says Paul. So here, as you can see, because we know this check password length function here will return a Boolean, we can then say if check password length and pass in a string, meaning in this case, if this returns true or false, we want to do something here. Else, we want to display something else, right? So we can go ahead here and say print your password is valid. Else, copy these and paste here so we don't have to retype. We can say your password is not valid. Let's get rid of this here at the bottom. Let's see what's happening here. So check password length. Paul has 4 characters. So we said here 4, there has to be, if password is less than 3, then is false. So this will return true, which means this should show your password is valid. As you can see to the right here, we have this printing out. If we go ahead and change this to, let's say P, just P, we should see your password is not valid. Okay? So you can see here the power of having methods that return something, because then we can use them anywhere we want and check things and do things that would otherwise be a little bit more tedious to having to create those conditions outside and recreate in order for us to have this logic here working, right? So methods, so functions that return something are very useful, as you can see here. So go ahead and play around with this concept again, as I always suggest you do, so that way you can get a little bit more comfortable with this concept that we've been learning, which is the function return types. Okay? All right, so I'll see you in the next video.